These 16 developments will change Boston forever. All right, let's talk about what's really happening in Boston right now, because this city, it's about to look completely different, and I mean billions of dollars different. We're talking about not just a few buildings popping up, we're talking skyscrapers that will redefine the skyline and entire neighborhoods being transformed, and a project so massive, it's going to reshape how we move around the city forever. And here's the thing, some of these developments, you've probably heard whispers about them, but others, they're so game-changing that in just a few years, Boston, it won't even feel the same. So if you really love this city, live here, or you're just curious about what the future of Boston actually looks like, stick around, because I guarantee you some of these will blow your mind. Stay tuned. All right, let's start with the obvious. If you've been anywhere near downtown lately, you've probably noticed something. Boston's skyline is getting a serious upgrade, and we're not talking about just one or two new towers. We're talking about some of the most ambitious, game-changing projects we've seen in decades. These aren't just buildings, they're statements. They're reshaping how we live, how we work, and interact with the city. And I think it kind of makes the most sense to dive into one that is making some of the biggest impact, starting with one that's literally rising above the busiest transit hubs in the city. But before we do, if this is your first time on the channel, I'm Joe Turco. My real estate team helps people buy, sell, and relocate to the Boston area by sharing exactly what it's like living here. And folks, there's no one bringing you videos quite like we do. So if you're thinking about making a move, feel free to reach out. All of our contact info is in the description below and pinned in the chat. South Station Tower, Boston's next super tall skyscraper. Now, if you've ever rushed through South Station to catch a train, imagine a 51-story glass skyscraper rising directly above it. That's exactly what's happening with South Station Tower, and it's about to redefine Boston's downtown skyline. This isn't just some office tower, it's mixed-use vertical city. It's amazing. It's seamlessly connected to one of the busiest transportation hubs in New England, which is South Station. Here's why this is a big deal. It's bringing new luxury residences that has high-end office spaces, retail space right in the heart of Boston's transit system. Everybody's coming in from here. It's designed to be sustainable with cutting-edge energy efficiency features. It's revitalizing an area that's been waiting for this kind of transformation for years. Think about cities like New York and Chicago. Their major transit stations are surrounded by high-rise developments. Boston is finally catching up, and with a completion date set of 2025, which is this year, we're just getting to the end. And we're seeing this completely change South Station and the surrounding area, both how it looks and how it functions. Now, while South Station Tower is bringing the future to Boston's busiest hub, another project is making waves by completely redefining what a sustainable skyscraper should look like. It's amazing. And guys, I can't wait for you to see it. Winthrop Center, the greenest skyscraper in Boston's history. Well, Boston has always been a leader in green building design, but Winthrop Center is taking things to an entirely new level. Rising 691 feet above downtown, this tower is more than just a glass and steel high-rise. It's actually one of the most energy efficient skyscrapers in the world. And here's what makes it different. It's one of the first passive house certified office towers, meaning it uses significantly less energy than a traditional building. The indoor air quality is better than anything we've seen in a commercial skyscraper, which, let's be honest, is a big deal in this world right now. The building is designed to cut carbon emissions by 60%, making it one of the most sustainable structures in the country. This kind of project, well, it's not about looking good on a skyline. It's about setting the standard for future skyscrapers. And with developers focusing more on eco-friendly design, Winthrop Center is proving that Boston isn't just building bigger, it's building smarter. And let's move from downtown over to Seaport, because if you thought Boston's skyline was impressive before, wait and see what's coming next. 10 World Trade, Seaport's newest landmark. Well, Seaport has already become one of Boston's fastest growing neighborhoods, but 10 World Trade is about to take it to another level. This isn't just another office building. It's futuristic. It's this glass-wrapped landmark that's designed to be a hub for tech, innovation, and next generation business. What makes it stand out? First off, it's designed design is insane. It's sleek, it's ultra modern, with one of the most visually striking buildings in the entire city. It's being built with state-of-the-art smart technology, meaning it literally will adapt to its environment for things like energy efficiency, temperature control, and lighting. It's positioned in the heart of Seaport, meaning it's going to attract some of the biggest names in the tech and startup world. Seaport has already established itself as Boston's new financial and innovation district, and 10 World Trade is only going to cement that reputation further. But while Seaport is getting a cutting-edge business hub, another area of Boston that's undergoing some massive transformation that's blending history with the modern, and all that is amazing, well, that's Bullfinch Crossing, the future of Government Center. Government Center has always felt like it was stuck between two different worlds. On one side, you've got the historic architecture of Beacon Hill, and on the other, you've got the brutalist concrete jungle of City Hall Plaza. But that's about to change. Bullfinch Crossing is a massive redevelopment project that's completely transforming this part of the city, turning it into a vibrant mixed-use neighborhood. Here's what's happening. The old Government Center garage is being torn down to make way for luxury residences, office towers, retail spaces, and green areas. The area is getting a huge walkability upgrade, meaning that there's going to be fewer cars and more pedestrian-friendly spaces. It's creating a seamless connection between Beacon Hill, the North End, and downtown, which means better accessibility and a more cohesive city flow. Boston has been pushing for mixed-use development that encourages walkability, public spaces, and dynamic city life. And Bullfinch Crossing is a perfect example of that vision coming exactly to life. And speaking of urban transformation, there's one more project that's redefining an area that's long overdue for an upgrade. Here we go. All right, folks, let's talk about an area that's a little away from me, but Fenway Center, building over the Mass Pike. Ever looked at the Mass Pike cutting through Boston, thought, that's a lot of wasted space? Well, developers did too. And now Fenway Center is turning that underutilized airspace into a brand new urban neighborhood. Yes, I said that. This is a $1 billion project that's bringing two massive towers over the Mass Pike right next to Fenway. More than 500 apartments, new retail spaces and office buildings, a new commuter rail, and honestly, it's going to make the area even more accessible. And here's the cool part. This project is actually going to cover up part of the highway, meaning we'll reclaim some of that lost urban space and make it actually usable. Boston is one of the few cities still experimenting with air right developments, basically building over the existing highways and rail lines to maximize space. Fenway Center is proving that it can be done, and it's setting a precedent for other cities to follow. A skyline designed for the future. Boston isn't just getting taller, it's getting smarter, greener, and more connected. From massive towers at South Station to urban transformation of Bullfinch Crossing and Fenway Center, these projects are just about adding buildings to a skyline. No, they're not. They're about shaping the way we experience Boston itself. And trust me, this is just the beginning, because next we're diving into entertainment and lifestyle projects that are turning parts of the city into brand new destinations. Boston has always had that perfect mix of history and modern feeling, right? But right now, it's going through one of the biggest entertainment and lifestyle shifts we've ever seen. We're talking about new entertainment districts, sports arenas, and entire areas transforming into vibrant destinations. These aren't just new buildings or venues. These places, they'll completely change how people experience Boston. Whether it's a cutting-edge biotech hub, a brand new life scene, or long overdue stadium upgrade. These projects are bringing something fresh to the city. Let's kick things off with one of the biggest innovation-driven entertainment hubs coming to the Boston area, and that's Assembly, as we call it, or Assembly Innovation Park. The next biotech and entertainment hub that, if you're thinking about, is right there in Somerville. Yes, Somerville. It's already one of the best spots outside of Boston for shopping, dining, and just hanging out. But now it's taking a massive leap forward with the Innovation Park, a huge new biotech and life sciences campus that's about to turn the area into a major economic hub. So why does this matter? Well, it's not just about science and research. This project is also bringing new public spaces, restaurants, and entertainment options options that'll make Assembly Row an even bigger destination. Well, the development will also attract thousands of jobs, which means more people living and spending time in the area. And because Assembly has already some of the best connections, especially for transportation, this will help ease Boston's congestion by giving people, more reasons to live, to work, and to play outside of the city center. So while Assembly is getting a futuristic facelift over there in Everett and Somerville, another project is making serious moves right next door in Everett. And if you love nightlife, this one's for you. Okay, so here it is, the Encore Casino development. It's turning Everett into a mini Vegas. Everett's Encore Casino has already changed the game when it comes to Boston's entertainment scene, but now it's about to level up big time. The casino is expanding beyond just gambling, adding a brand new hotel, massive event space, and even more dining and nightlife options. And we've got a luxury pedestrian bridge connecting the casino to even more venues. Plans for a Vegas-style shopping district like the Strip that brings high-end retail and even more live shows to the area. So what's the big idea? Turn Everett into a full-on entertainment district, not just a casino stop? That's right. Think about places like Atlantic City or even parts of Vegas. That's the kind of transformation that's happening right now. So if you thought Encore was just about the casino, think again, because soon it's going to be a go-to nightlife and entertainment hub for the entire region. But let's shift gears for a second, because while Everett is building up its entertainment scene, another project in Boston is focusing on the city's booming tech and business culture. Okay, the Forum, Boston's newest tech and life sciences hub. Boston has long been a tech and innovation powerhouse, and now the Forum is adding to that legacy by creating a brand new center for startups in biotech and cutting-edge research. Well, what makes the Forum stand out? It's not just an office space. It's an entire innovation ecosystem designed to bring together some of the brightest minds in Boston. So let's look at it this way. It's being built with collaborative spaces, flexible work environments, and public gathering areas that make it really a dynamic part of the city. It's positioning Boston as one of the top cities in the country for life sciences and tech developments. This is more than just another commercial district. The Forum is about making Boston the go-to destination for the future of tech. But what if I told you one of the biggest transformations happening in the city isn't about tech, casinos, or nightlife? It's actually sports. So White Stadium renovation for, Boston's football club, the New England Revelation. Now, this one is huge because for the first time in years, Boston is getting its very own professional soccer team a new stadium potential. And the centerpiece of it all, the massive renovation. I don't know. Are we going to do it? Are we going to get it where we're going to the big leagues? We'll see. But here's why it matters. The stadium is getting a multi-million-dollar facelift with brand new seating, better lighting, and a modernized streets. This just isn't about soccer or football, as they call it. The stadium will also have community events, concerts, and youth programs. It's bringing professional level soccer right into the heart of the city, making it easier than going all the way down to Foxborough. Ooh. Soccer has been exploding in popularity here in the U.S., and Boston is no different. We're finally getting into the action in the city with this brand new stadium. And is this going to be a massive win for the city? Yeah, I think so. We also have things like Morrissey Boulevard redevelopment, Boston's next waterfront destination. Now, let's talk about a spot that's long overdue for transformation. It's Morrissey Boulevard. It's a waterfront corridor that has been, flood prone, underutilized, just a stretch of road that for years has needed change. So this redevelopment is going to be turning this area into a vibrant mixed-use waterfront community, hopefully without wind tunnels like Seaboard. But what's the plan? The project includes new housing parks, restaurants, and retail to make it a true live, work, play destination. Developers are making sure the area is more flood resilient, so it can actually handle all the rising sea levels and storms. It's going to connect neighborhoods like Dorchester and South Boston in a way that we haven't really seen that much. Boston has been pushing hard to revitalize its waterfront areas, and this is no different. And it's about to become one of the most exciting spaces in the city. Now, if we're talking more about Boston's entertainment lifestyle future and how it's going to look bigger than ever, we're going to have to talk about how we're going from the high-tech energy of the Forum to the nightlife explosion in Everett to Boston finally getting a dedicated pro soccer stadium. These projects are changing how people experience the city. Boston isn't just growing, it's evolving into a place that's more dynamic, more exciting, and packed with things to do. And this is just the beginning, because next we're talking about something that's about to make life in Boston even more convenient, more walkable, and better connected. If there's one thing that can truly make or break a city's future, it's infrastructure. Skyscrapers and entertainment districts are great, but if the roads are clogged, the trains are outdated, and getting around is a daily headache, none of it really works. And let's be real, Boston's infrastructure has needed an upgrade for a while. But now that's finally happening. We're seeing major investments in public transit, walkability, and smart technology that are going to make getting around Boston easier, faster, and way more efficient. Let's start with something that's going to impact every single person that uses, any type of public transportation in the city. The MBTA's game-changing fare system. Finally, a modern payment system. Boston's transit system is long overdue for a 21st century upgrade. And let's start with how we pay for it. The T's new fare system is rolling out, and it's about to make riding the T way more convenient. Here's what's changing. No more fumbling with Charlie cards. Now you can tap your phone or credit card to pay directly at the gate. The new system will allow for fare capping, meaning you'll never pay more than a monthly pass, no matter how often you ride. It's also bringing contactless payment to buses, ferries, and the commuter rail, making everything more seamless. This is huge because for years, Boston's transit system has kind of felt stuck in the past. Now, it's finally that we're catching up to cities like New York, London, and Chicago, where tapping your phone card is already just the norm. And while the fare system is getting a major upgrade, one of the biggest projects on the horizon is something Boston commuters have been waiting for decades. The long-awaited Blue Line extension. Expanding Boston's reach, it's incredible. For years, extending the Blue Line beyond Wonderland has been one of the most talked about projects in Boston, and now it's closer than ever. This extension would finally connect the Blue Line to Lynn, a move that would obviously relieve congestion on the North Shore, giving commuters a direct route into the city, provide better transit access to thousands of people who currently have to rely on buses or drive into Boston. So we can expand Boston's rapid transit network and make the Blue Line a true regional connector. For too long, the Blue Line has been cut off from the rest of the system, and this expansion would change that for good. And while the Blue Line expansion is still in planning stages, there's another transit project that's already in motion, one that's about to completely change how we use our streets. Now, that's the pedestrian and bike-friendly streets expand. We're looking at a new era of walkability. Boston has always been a walkable city, but now, while the city is taking a step further, literally, a major push is happening to make Boston streets safer, more pedestrian-friendly, and less car-dominated. Here's what's coming. More car-free zones in areas like Downtown Crossing, Newbury Street, and parts of the Seaport. Expanded bike lanes that are actually protected, making cycling around the city safer. Better sidewalks, more public plazas, and green spaces to encourage outdoor life. Cities like Amsterdam and Copenhagen have shown that prioritizing walkability makes urban life more enjoyable, reduces traffic, and it boosts the local businesses. Boston is now following that model, creating a city that's not just easier to get around, but more fun and, for exploring on both foot and bike. And while we're on the topic of making Boston more inviting, let's talk about one of the most iconic spots in the city that's getting a much needed facelift. Now, that's the Boston Common. We're restoring America's oldest park, and it's going to be one of the most historic parks in the country. But let's be honest, it's in need of an upgrade for a while. Now, that's exactly what's happening with a massive renovation project that's going to do a couple things. It's going to improve walking paths and accessibility, making it easier for everyone to enjoy. Add more greenery, seating areas, gathering spaces for events, and just use, making it safer, cleaner, and more inviting for both residents and tourists. This isn't just a small upgrade. It's a transformation that's going to bring a new life to the heart of Boston. Boston is becoming a city built for the future, from faster, more convenient public transit to better pedestrian and bike access to revitalized public spaces. These infrastructure upgrades are setting up Boston for the next generation. And here's the best part. This is just the beginning, because up next, we're diving into one of the biggest game changers of them all. A project so massive, it's reshaping an entire section of Boston.
Boston has always been a city that evolves from the days of the Big Dig, reshaping the way that kind of people move through downtown, to the Seaport District, going from empty parking lots to one of the most expensive neighborhoods in the country. This city it doesn't stand still. But what we're seeing now, it's bigger than just new buildings or better transit. These developments aren't just changing the skyline. They're changing the way people experience Boston. We're talking about a city that's becoming taller, smarter, greener, more connected than ever before. Boston's economy is leveling up. One of the biggest takeaways from all these projects, Boston is cementing itself as a global powerhouse. With the rise of the Forum and Assembly Park, we're seeing just huge booms in biotech, life sciences, and tech. The expansion of places like the Seaport and Longwood Place means Boston is continuing to attract top talent from all around the world. Developments like Winthrop Center aren't just about looking good on the skyline. They're setting new standards for sustainable construction, which puts Boston at the forefront of innovation. This isn't just about growth. It's about strategic, future-focused development. And it's not just the job market that's getting a boost. The people and the way they move around the city is changing too. Getting around Boston will be easier than ever. For decades, one of the biggest complaints about Boston has been traffic and public transit issues. But now we're seeing major progress. The MBTA's new fare system is making it easier and faster to hop on the T. The new Blue Line extension, it's finally addressing the North Shore's transit needs. The push for more pedestrian-friendly streets and bike lanes means people can actually enjoy getting around the city instead of battling gridlock. If Boston gets this right, we're looking at a city that's more accessible, more efficient, and better connected than ever before. But is Boston losing its character? Of course, with all this growth, there's always one big question. Is Boston changing too much? Some people love these upgrades. Others worry that Boston is becoming too much like New York or San Francisco, more expensive, more crowded, and less like the city that we know and love. So the real question is, can Boston evolve without losing its soul? That's something only time will tell. But one thing is certain, this city is not staying the same. So what do you think? At the end of the day, this isn't just about building and roads and skyline. It's about Boston's future. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these developments excites you the most? Which ones do you think will have the biggest impact on the city? Drop a comment below. Let's start a conversation. And if you love staying up to date on all things Boston, make sure to subscribe for more. Boston's changing. The only question is, are you ready for it?